This is called The Only Reason I Was Abducted by Aliens in Kathmandu in 1994 was that in 1994 I went to Kathmandu to be abducted by aliens. And to try and feel the difference between this state of being and another, turn on the simulation that the world is not. Rugged Earth 1 minor, it's all a broken chemistry set. Wave the earth by from the car window, cough up kisses, the spreadsheet of the fabric of the space-time continuum. Sorry that it wasn't a Freudian slip, I love it enough, really. He who does not work, neither shall he eat. Destroy work and eat everything. Hallelujah, I'm an acultural producer of mythologies, unable to digest the latent ones. Hallelujah, I'm a sea monkey in the vague puddle of existence, and you are also a sea monkey in the vague puddle of existence, and I think you are cute for what it's worth to a brine shrimp. All crustaceans are beautiful. Dear world affairs, how dare you make me feel like punk is relevant again? This is so embarrassing for all. I thought we lived in a post-police pagan association world, still life with roses, sauerkraut, and lost digital tax returns. How much wild chamomile must I pick to pay off my student loan, at least in the eyes of God? It's so cold I can't see my hands, despite the politics of care I attempt to uphold. Wept swindle and a dualistic opposition to dualism. The future is larvae to birth the past of itself, haunted by a dream of the world, as a shining silver globe dripping with disinfectant, topped with a raw, tied-up joint of meat, sitting like what is left to do but haunt you with the promise of maggots and a future for your species. 9 worlds is not enough. Recruit, recruit, recruit. I wish that the queen was a lizard. Weird shelters, weird bolt cutters, weird warmth, weird super glue. There is no repetition, only multiple invocations of spirit. This escalation that keeps escalating. Remember when the world ended that single time? Minuscule bonfire against the flood dreams. I despised the consensus until it left, and some of us were still left out here doing the work of mild psychosis, the word of milk psychosis, trying to find new ways to tie our shoelaces. Ice caps, ice caps, ice caps. Forgot to refill the tray after that last whiskey. Oh well, going to have to slur whatever narrative is needed next. I hope it has dragons, because I tried to assimilate, you see, but then my hands turned to ectoplasm. This is named after a cookery show. It's called Semi-Homemade. I'm no less real than Australia. And to be actual, total, what are the symptoms of appendix? Sort out this state of slapdash, microcosm, which is merely all-knowing but unsure how to successively acknowledge the uninterrupted stream of symptoms upon symptoms, limping up mud in the throat, this escalating lifestyle. We bombard the significant with our bloody sweat fears. Ramparts of the farmer's market, nevertheless arguable the extent to which a white male body is a body in the traditional sense. A friendly quasi-body explains wealth. Management companies already own the land that will be the coast. Feeling like pickles banded together, bright tangerine, musk-built polis, city of the antiquity, romantic, beaming, un-food bank, unnecessary mortality rates. No fake farm names to stave off competition from farms, farms in their intrinsically inferior reality. This is our last big fun rocket ship century, New Zealand Silicon Valley apocalypse bunker prep century, not a fucking harvest festival. Keep up, sheep off the big table. I plait my hair with cabbage leaves, lean against cracked stones. The good thing about the cockroach team is even if you lose, you win in the long sport. I feel like whenever I read in like straight contexts, I'm like, okay, you're just getting gay sex. And whenever I read in queer contexts, I'm like, okay, you're just getting aliens and conspiracy theories. Maybe. Okay, this is slightly less that. It's called Human Fruit Machine. In the age before the baby drew any sum of the Bible from the fleeting warmth of the sun, that's not where we are now, though. We are when the decisions about basic existence, or after, will come on pale mint paper and passive, moderate disgust. Some of my gender is inevitably what I have been handed to dry my eyes whilst crying at medical professionals. Rearticulated, however much hair I grow, wherever, I remain hysteria adjacent. Even if your voice is less of a fireworks, hair distribution is simply the difference between naturalized feminine distress and stagey faggy melodrama. Either way, fuck off back to the opera, Maria Callas. Why are you crying? Most likely explanation, weird interspecies sex, and millions of years later, here I am, resentful primo donna, filling in a checklist. Bodily autonomy has a special quality of being retroactively deletable. As soon as you don't have it, you never did. The limit is stainless steel and polite and hand sanitizer and not liable. I plead my canon. My elegant canon is hopelessly, irretrievably mundane, male and basically disgusting men. Grasping for essentialism, look at this beautiful acne and arrogance and abject Basanian glamour. And hell, tell me what's up in my blood right this very year. Can't imagine, not at least imagining, crushing on my gender therapist, my meditation teacher, if only for the illicit love of a structure to hate, a rigid, immovable force to push up against, like a sex or personality. I used to thought they existed, and now I don't, which is the only way. It gets better. Trying to see God is like trying to hold your own hand or be the poppers and the blood vessels. Was it worth it to Maria Callas? No songs. I play Yahtzee with my sad dad. Wounded mask country sung until I don't even care to notice when I throw Yahtzee. It's a genre defined by harvesting on or anti-wellness as metaphysical gelatinous abundance, I protest. It casts itself out to sea, a new good and true metal for life jacket, stored under the soil insolence, biodiversity, like that other decade with the floating baby, a reusable canvas angst, if you will. Big A, little a, fermented B, the system might have got you and it might get me. So not to be overly technical or whether punk can or cannot be dead is a question of agency, of sentience, of ideas in this century and a few preceding meaning. The Woodsmoke 3D printer is working, but right now, with all these demographically severed heads rolling around, the ship's parlour staining the tea strainer, camouflage blood. You call it nature one more time and I swear I will. You don't dare take advantage of my homemade. I don't call the police, except never. Disco ball, the sphincter in the mirror clenched, holding the mind of whatever reason I wanted. Yesterday is called to reason over eggs and amyls, over easy equanimous riot porn channel, hopping to reason from the easy spot. It's all meek fun because auditing threats will have their way with everyone. Even the hardest core pinnacle of humanity all happened yesterday, which is what I call every day in this post-enlightenment materialist void of a slumped, soggy K-hole. I, for one, also find the anti-social movements of my hands very interesting, pure electrocuted meat food for the soul brain. Punk's not dead because he always was. Everything is a system. It's hard to see from the liver. I'm going to read one more. I don't know what.
You've got time to choose, you can't choose.
Okay. I don't know what either of them would be. Okay, let's do this. It's called Visualization. You are a small shark in the aquarium in the office of the CEO of a nondescript corporate body in a mid-80s postmodern swirl-carpeted disaster zone where all the glass is cleaned except yours. The day is broken with elevator music, but you don't know what this is. You are nibbling on some plankton and waiting for communism, and you write a poem on the discreetly molded glass of your aquarium. The poem reads: the perfect sphere of commonality made up of direct lines in direct contradiction to the present circumstantial scratching the hollow surface of liquid-soluble anxiety. A great swarm of bees pollinate the edges of the deserted subgenre. Is anything ugly or beautiful enough to be the rupture of the skin or the milk of global geopolitical catastrophed muscle? Like most people, the earth just gets hotter with age. Can I pay my rent in social niceties? Is there an open bar or promise of a consensual collective solution for the spiritual crisis of Western modernity? Cheap white wine is a safer bet, but just get me whatever can still be salvaged. Where is ecstasy on the food chain in relation to obligation? We are getting cooler and cooler. Despite this, you cave in and look at a recent picture of the world. Wow, they really did get really hot. A gay hare is walking through a forest. In case you don't know, a hare is a butch rabbit. I don't want to be defined by my sexuality, I'm just a human, says the hare. The forest's infrastructure is devastated by Dutch elm disease, which is not the point, it's just also happening in the world near the point. Outside the harsh city limits of the point is everything that constitutes the periphery, leaks into the center. The center is undeserving of the bioluminescence at the center of the octopus. Sneak in an oblique reference to roaming swarms of trauma in the form of fluorescent yellow and black and white checked lines separating you from not you, the potential at any moment to be reminded that there is no sovereignty, and sovereignty is a value that lubricates the social, and membership is declined all the time when the noise and the love. You shouldn't anticipate anticipation's anticipation. No dessert until you finish your labor. You're not an octopus, you're a shark. You have better things to do than draw yourself new clocks. The calendar just works, get over it. make narrative fate again. Stop trying to wrap your slimy tentacles around the world and reinvent sliced bread and get back to being a shark. I learned everything I know about politics and economics sitting in a tank of finite water and never sleeping without also moving and watching the world from the outside. And our time will get even if nobody ever cleans this glass, get even if. Thanks.